Moviesucktastic is a podcast about bad movies and the people that love them. But it's more than just a podcast, it's also an online presence. If you want to know more about Moviesucktastic or want to become a part of Moviesucktastic, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Moviesucktastic, you can find our blog at boothreviews.blogspot.com, or if you want to give your own reviews that we might use on the show, you can go to reviews.moviesucktastic.com and check out our own little lunch.com community for Moviesucktastic. Check us out and become a part of the show, because the only thing more fun than a bad movie is sharing it.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Dude, no! Oh!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Moviesucktastic. Scott, how you doing?
Am I allowed to come on now?
Yes, you are allowed to come on now.
Okay.
It's just technical difficulties is all. It's nothing big. You know, it's...
Technical difficulties? Technical difficulties.
You know, whenever we don't record for, a month, we always manage to get some technical difficulties. You know what it is, too? It's... I just don't check all the shit on my end. For whatever reason, I just expect it to work. And it looks like live stream is in rare form tonight. I'm looking at the CPU usage, and it's fluctuating anywhere from 35% all the way to 70%. So we might have a crash tonight.
Cool.
As a matter of fact, there's a new little feature that I'm noticing here. It says anti-lag feature enabled, local anti-lag feature triggered. Now it says perfect streaming. And then it says something... There's problems tonight. So don't be surprised if my computer crashes because of live stream yet again.
I think it might be Horace Pinker.
Could be It could be Horace Pinker.
I think it is Horace Pinker.
I love Horace Pinker. He's like that lovable uncle you never knew you had. He killed everyone. And boy, does he kill everyone in this movie.
It'd be even more lovable.
Yeah. He's just, a TV repair guy gone bad, that's all.
It happens. It happens.
It does happen.
Especially in the waning economy, how does one eke a living out of repairing old televisions without slipping into psychotic mass murder frenzies?
This is true. I mean, the guy knows his way around a TV. And Satanism.
And Satan.
And Satan. So, to start off the show properly, this is my challenge to Scott. I challenged this to him after he challenged me to Guilty as Charged. Now, the challenge, the way it worked this time around, was it was a thematic challenge, but also an actor challenge. The actor Mitch Pileggi is in this film as Horace Pinker, but he was also an inmate in Guilty as Charged, who and I'm blanking on his name. The lead actor, what's his face?
Of what?
The old guy from Guilty as Charged. Why is it killing me?
Steiger.
Rod Steiger. Holy shit. Thank
I know
you.
where you're going with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, Rod Steiger kidnaps him, and he's basically Horace Pinker until he's ready to go to the chair. Whereas in this film, he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get on with the killing. And in Guilty as Charged, he cries like a little bitch. But he's basically Horace Pinker in both films until he goes to the chair and Guilty as Charged.
In some ways, this would be a great sequel to Guilty as Charged if it ended with his electrocution. Or you could, put the two together.
Right. But I absolutely love Mitch Pileggi in this movie. Rewatching this film, all I can say is, ooh.
Please elaborate, sir.
Oh man. In the trailer, they blatantly lie, saying that this is Wes Craven's greatest film. What a lie. When I saw this 25 years ago, it's 25 years old now at this point. I saw it when I was a kid. I was a teenager. I was 13 years old. I love this movie. I love the hair metal music. I love the movie. I loved I loved everything about this movie. I probably haven't seen it in 20 years, and I remembered loving it even 20 years ago. And even though I still had fun watching this, holy shit, is it fucking bad? The concept alone of being able to jump through your TV for no apparent reason is just mind-boggling. Like, wow. How did that go from script to screen and everyone was okay with it?
I have to disagree with you, sir. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have to keep in mind that this is Wes Craven, the guy who invented the Dream Warriors, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, but
so the idea that
that's different.
No, it's not, because the idea that you need any more rationalization than
but they're dreaming.
Evil person. What I'm saying is,
okay.
All you need for rationalization is evil person, mode of transportation to kill children / people. That's your viable concept. Freddy Krueger, there was no reason why Freddy Krueger should be able to become an entity that lives in the dreams of other people. No rationalization for it all. Managed to do a dozen sequels more or less with that concept. Actually, less than a dozen. But so with Shocker, at least what?
Close. I said I think it's like 9 movies, so you're close.
Well, 10 if you count Freddy vs. Jason. Or are you counting that already?
No, I wasn't.
That's 10.
That's a solid 10.
That kind of counts as for both franchises. That counts.
Jesus Christ.
Now, at least in Shocker, Horace Pinker, we catch him performing a satanic ritual to the television set, thereby at least establishing some reason why he would be able to use electricity as a form of transit once he dies and becomes an ethereal force.
Yeah, and I don't know who gives him the power, but you just see electricity in the air of these two lips. Because he's like, come on, give it to me! And the lips go, you got it, baby.
Got it, baby.
And it's like, all right, we got some reggae jazz musician guy here. What's going on? The devil is, he loves the reggae. All right.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he loves it. You got it, baby. And that's the only time we get to see that guy. It's like, I would have liked a little more of him years later, looking back at the film. Maybe Horace Pinker conversing with him a little bit. I mean, he only gave him the whole fucking powers. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not? But yeah, he dismantled that TV pretty good. And watching the film, it's like, wow, they each cell gets their own television. How convenient.
Well, and I think in the 90s that was one of the big arguments for the right was, people in prison get color TV and cable and this and that. So that was actually a social construct of the time period, I would argue.
Right.
So
I think Wes Craven was also kind of trying to make a statement with this film, because at the end, they talk a little bit about how he bought into TV and kind of alluding to that TV is evil. and it's one of the proponents of the film because Horace Pinker is pure evil. It's like, what are you doing, Wes? Come on. You do realize this is how people are going to watch your shitty movie, right? It was like half-hearted, though. I know he's obviously not fully into it. And somehow he recruited a Raimi brother, which, wasn't that blasphemy in the 80s?
No, Raimis were everywhere.
Yeah, but no, well, wasn't the whole thing with between the Raimis and Wes Craven during the whole Evil Dead series was that, and I remember this vividly, and I don't know.
Yeah, they had a playful rivalry.
Yeah, going back and forth.
But I don't think it was anything like actual hatred or
Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. It was kind of interesting that he got a Raimi brother in the movie, and it was like, woo, because I think it was okay. I should have been more elaborate, I guess, because they were going back and forth so playfully. What?
You should be less elaborative. Just be vague. Be very vague, and we'll just take it from there.
Oh, okay, good. That's what I planned on. That's what I did. But anyway, the fact that it was going back and forth, even playful, like you said, the fact that this film got a Raimi in the movie, it was like anyone that was following the back and forth was like, ooh, look, a Raimi is in the movie. Ooh. And he dies horribly. I like the way people die in this movie too. Like the cop on the car. Was I not supposed to laugh? Where he's on the car, he's like. I can only imagine that was his last, breath sounded like that.
Yeah. Well, one of the saving graces of Shocker is it was in that great period that we've kind of gone back to in some ways with some of the more some of the more recent what would you say homages to 80s and 90s horror. Right. And this is an 80s horror film, but on the edge of 90s, so I think it kind of blends into both. And where the horror films were still horror films, but they were self-aware enough that they weren't mocking themselves or being parodies of themselves, but they were self-aware enough to realize this shit's funny too.
Yeah.
And weren't afraid to inject humor into the horror film without it being too awkwardly self-aware. I mean, as you got into the 90s, things descended into camp, and the less, with the MPAA really coming down hard on horror films, they couldn't deliver the gore or the scares as much as they wanted to, so they would end up doing goofy shit instead. And I think Shocker is a great balancing act there. Yeah.
I mean, just take the scene where they get Horace Pinker out of the cell after he gets the powers from the reggae Jamaican guy, where he bites the black guy's lip, like pretty much clean off his face.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a rubber prosthetic, but it's hilarious. And then he bites the other two guys' fingers off, and he's like, finger licking good. Yeah. I mean, it's just a little bit of camp, just enough. And Mitch Pileggi pulls it off flawlessly. I mean, flawlessly.
And the great thing about the Horace Pinker character is he's kind of an embodiment of that television personality in that he has the crappy one-liners.
Right.
He is playing to an audience, and so him becoming and I mean, we're kind of jumping the gun a bit. He doesn't become a television entity at first. At first, he just becomes a force of electricity and uses that electricity to possess other people.
Yeah, he's jumping from body to body. Well, because we're all made up of energy. Yeah.
Right, because the brain is electric impulses, and that's a concept that I think there's more. There's actually there's at least a scientific lead into that instead of just. Yeah, he was a child molester. We burned him alive. Now he's in our dreams. So, I think Wes grew a bit as a writer. He's like, okay, let's give a reason for this now. And all right, obviously not a great reason, but that's what fantasy's about. But at one point, they trick Horace to drive him out of the people he's possessing, and in the last-ditch effort to not dissipate as energy, he dives into a television broadcast, which doesn't make sense because electricity doesn't transfer through the air. But that it falls apart a bit there. But at least he evolves as a character.
Yeah. Well, to bring it back a little bit, just to bring it back, he gets these powers, and he goes to the electric chair, and his whole thing is he wants to be electrocuted so that he can actually transform himself into pure energy.
via Satanic Pact with a reggae singer.
Yes, that's right. And in the trailer, not in the film, but they asked him did he have any last words? And of course he says, "No more Mr. Nice Guy." Not in the movie. In the trailer, not in the movie. In the movie, he actually talks a little bit about how he beat the shit out of Peter Berg's character because that's his father, and he pretty much finds out right in that scene that that's his kid and that's his dad. But to bring it back a little bit, moving into after he garners this energy, favorite possession. I want to talk about possessions, like when he's jumping from people to people. We were just talking about it. We probably have the same, but what was your favorite possession when he was jumping from person to person to person to person?
The little girl.
Of course. The little girl. And everybody obviously has the limp. That's how you can tell it's him. But he possesses this like 6-year-old girl. And well, first he goes into a cop, and then he goes into a jogger, shoots the jogger in the back first, then goes into the jogger, and then the next shot is the jogger on the ground going, "Help me, help me," and he's the little girl, and she basically pushes him off of her and spits on him, and then she just runs away, and she just has this evil like 6-year-old girl look on her. I mean, she didn't have to be possessed by Horace Pinker to have this evil look on her face.
Definitely not.
A lot of little girls are evil. I'm just saying. But anyway, then there isn't a lot to this movie as far as how the story progresses. There really isn't. I mean, after he's possessing people, they kind of try and figure out. I guess we should dial it back a little bit. That he just kills pretty much everyone he knows. His son, he kills everybody, like literally everybody. They go to like 3 funerals in the movie.
Anybody he knows and loves, he kills. He's just totally. Well, the bulk of the film revolves around the fact that Horace killed his girlfriend. Yeah, who's his soulmate, and
his soulmate.
Yeah,
and he gives her a heart pendant, a necklace, a heart pendant, and because of that, because they're soulmates, it actually attains some sort of, unworldly powers, so to say. It's to protect him from Horace Pinker.
Because only love can defeat evil. Well, yes,
yeah, I mean, of course. So because of that, as long as he has this necklace, he can pretty much, withstand just about anything Horace Pinker throws at him. He's able to jump through the television with him because of it. Just all of that. And because she dies, it gains these special powers. So that's a driving force of the plot too through the film, is that he's kind of like, she's almost like his guardian angel. I mean, the scene where he possesses the coach and she steps out of the bathroom all glowing, and she's like, you got to admit that was a little ridiculous. It's like she's in the room, it's like, yeah, I can see you fine. Yeah, this is nothing weird. This is fine. Am I tripping right now? Is that what's going on? But no, it's a fun movie as long as you take it as that. You can't take it seriously at all, even though it does have its elements of the human body is made of energy, and that's what he's doing to jump from body to body and all of that. But if you take it seriously, you can't. You have to have fun with it.
Yeah, there are plot devices that obviously are at least logical enough in nature that it gives some kind of credence to what's happening. But again, this is that transitional period where we're kind of edging away from just straight horror films and going into that kind of we're here to have fun too.
Sure.
And I love Shocker.
It's one of my favorite films growing up. Yes. It's one of my favorite Wes Craven films. The year before he did this, he did The Serpent and the Rainbow, which was always one of those films that I liked more as an adult than as a kid. I think as a kid, it just kind of, I don't know, there was something about it that I just didn't like. You know, I don't know why, but as an adult, I liked it more. But this film, I always loved, and I think it's mainly because of Mitch Pileggi's performance in the film. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when I saw that he was, you know, he was on X-Files and he started to become a main character, I was very happy about that because I like Mitch Pileggi as an actor. He hasn't done much. I haven't seen him done much at all. I think he's doing more TV than anything. He's not really doing the movies. What am I, 70? He's not doing movies that often anymore.
You know, the moving pictures.
You know, in the moving picture boxes that we have.
Yeah, well, he's been a primarily TV actor. Yeah,
It
definitely
seems that way. So this is it's an unusually long film too. I'm surprised that it's nearly, you know, it's an hour and almost it's like an hour and 45, hour and 50 minutes. It's a long movie.
Most horror films throughout the 80s into the 90s were usually a standard hour and a half.
Yeah, 90 minutes.
So you've got. But again, this is the point where Wes Craven has become a name, and his name alone is selling. So I don't know. Maybe he's just playing more, and the film doesn't feel too long. I don't think.
No, it moves pretty quick.
I give the film credit for really having very distinct sections. I mean, he does different. It's almost like he's getting, I don't know, artistic. But I mean, the film has, like, you hit like Act 2, and you can't shake the feeling that I'm watching a different film now than what I was in Act 1. When you hit Act 3, it's like, okay, I don't even remember what the film was when I first watched it.
It's like, how did we get here?
The film shifts gears. It really wants to put a lot of ideas in at once, and it wants to play a lot with special effects in the pre-CGI world of horror films.
You got a lot of green screen going on in this movie.
A lot of green screen, a lot of live action. I think one of my favorite scenes, as far as now, again, one of a very visual director writer, and this kind of comes from Nightmare on Elm Street, because he did the same thing in those two. But in Shocker, Horace is wearing the orange jumpsuit with a stripe down one side, and which almost looks like a test pattern on him, which comes into play obviously with the television. And as he becomes different objects, they take on that color at some point.
Right. Well, I think
one of my favorite scenes is when the kid sits in his reclining chair and the chair becomes Horace, because it's an electric chair.
Yeah.
And the eyes pop out, and
this
the arms.
Barca Lounger's gonna kick your ass. I just love Horace Pinker's character. I just love it. But yeah, no, you're right. Especially, you know what they did especially well, I think, when Horace Pinker, anytime that he was transitioning from, like, say he came out of a possession, because you would see like him like superimpose over the person, and then he'd step up and out, or when he was outside of the television, like he came out and he was always like that digital kind of staticky TV kind of like his presence was all staticky like a television, but then it would transition to where he would come out of that, and it would be like he's standing right there, like he was in the room. The colors that they chose for the jumpsuit, the way that they chose it, and like you said, it looked like a test pattern. I think they did it so well, like when it transitioned out of TV static into real, like where he was real, so to say. Mm-hmm. It went well with how I don't want to say it had great cinematography. That's not where I'm going with it. But I think the transition from static to real felt good. It felt right. You know, it didn't feel weird when they did it. It actually felt like, oh shit, he's not static anymore. This is a real problem. He's gonna fucking kill you. Or you felt like a threat when that happened. When he was static, you felt he was less of a problem. But when he wasn't the TV static, it just felt like he was dangerous again. You know, like he could actually do something to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to add to that.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us for this week's Moviesucktastic. You know what? This is the age-old saying for us. It's not age-old, but you know what I mean. It's when we like a film, it's harder to review. you can't nitpick it because you like it, and if you do nitpick it, it feels like you're doing it for no reason. You know, like I mentioned in the beginning of the show that, like, whoa, wow, this is a really bad film. But because I grew up with it and I loved it so much growing up, I'm okay with that. And I could sit here and nitpick it, but I don't want to because I still like it. So that's, you know, where I was going with that. It's always harder for us to nitpick and just review the films that we do like. Hopefully your challenge to me is a real stinker.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I have a challenge. I have a challenge in mind.
Okay. Because we haven't done one of those in a while. It seems like every week we kind of like the movies we've been reviewing lately. Mm-hmm. I think that's like 4 or 5 reviews in a row. We haven't shit on a movie in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got one for you.
Okay. Good.
Now, I want to talk about. Now, obviously, we mentioned written and directed by Wes Craven.
Yes.
Now, the lead actor Peter Berg is also a writer-director.
Yes,
in later years, and I just wanted to bring this up a bit because he I forget if he wrote and directed. I mean, he was involved with. He wrote and directed Very Bad Things, which I didn't care for just because it was the ending was too much of a moral message, but everything up to that was good. I just didn't like the resolution.
That was also his directorial debut, I believe.
For film, yes. Yeah, his directorial debut film-wise. And he also did The Losers, which I liked.
Oh, he did do that. You know what? I still haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen The Losers?
I still
recommend it. Yeah, I mean, now, directing, he also did...
oh, wait a minute. Wait, is that the one based on the comic book?
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that. That's the one with, what's-his-face? He played the comedian in Watchmen.
That is correct.
I did see that. I did like that.
He didn't write... he didn't write this, but I also liked his that film, The Rundown, with The Rock and... what's his name? Stifler?
Oh, yeah.
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott. Yes, I did like that one too.
I still like it merely for the fact that they got Christopher Walken to say Oompa Loompas. And I really have a strong feeling that he was put in that film specifically to say Oompa Loompas.
I'll be honest. Even his film Battleship, which was fucking terrible, I find myself when it's on watching it.
It's a horrible. He didn't write it. He just directed it. It's a horrible movie, but it's so well made, like visually. That I told you, one time I was walking through the living room and it was on halfway through. I had to watch the rest of it because not only is it's visually arresting, but damn, that's a great soundtrack. You could put you could put AC/DC in Fifth Element, and I'd probably watch it. You know.
Yeah. Right.
Probably. Possibly.
How many? But he literally goes to like 3 funerals in this fucking movie. It's like they're always out in the rain at a funeral. It seems in this movie. Craziness.
I'd like to see a film where a guy's trying to track down a serial killer and the guy keeps killing his own family, so he has to stop the hunt every week and a half to go to a funeral.
You know what would have been an interesting twist on this movie? Right before they put him in the electric chair, they said, "No, we just converted to death by injection. We're not going to be doing the electric chair. It's not how we do it anymore." And he'd be like, "Oh, fuck." Yeah, how are you going to get out of that one, Horace?
I can't track the killer down. You know how hard it is to arrange funeral arrangements for like 4 different loved ones over a 3-week period? Come on. Yeah, I mean, and the film is, you do have those 80s horror rock ballad melodramatic moments with the dead girlfriend, and there's a lot of that stuff in there, but it's light enough too where it doesn't become bogged down by that. And those are actually nice
yeah.
lulls in the film. Like the whole dream sequence. Be warned, there's a few dream sequences in here. Some of those, was that a dream? Things. Don't panic. It doesn't get that. It doesn't become as bad as what was that De Palma film with all the dream sequence wake ups? With you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Raising Cain. Raising Cain.
Raising Cain. No.
Yeah, there is.
No.
Yeah.
Is it Raising Cain?
I
John
think it's
Lithgow?
Raising Cain. John Lithgow, Raising Cain.
Raising Cain. Okay. Yes.
In the first 10 minutes of the film, like the main character wakes up from a nightmare and then wakes up from that nightmare, then wakes up from that night. It's like, fuck you. After the third one, you're just like, fuck you. I'm not even paying attention anymore. As far as I'm concerned, the whole film's a dream. Fuck you.
And De Palma at that point, he's just like giggling. And not like he's like, oh man, I'm really fucking with him. He's like, no, this is great. They're not going to expect that third one. It's like, you're right, because you're a cunt.
And I gotta, I personally, I feel like De Palma, and I have to take a peek. Yeah, he wrote and directed that. And I would argue that as, again, it's Brian De Palma. I know we're getting on a sidetrack here, but I just have to mention briefly that I think Brian De Palma is one of those writer-directors that's a better director than he is a writer.
Oh, definitely. Oh, you know what? And a lot of directors are that way. Don't write your own shit, and you're usually fine.
Yeah.
It's like, don't write your own shit. Like, perfect example, and it's only one example, but Zack Snyder wrote and directed Sucker Punch.
Wow.
Not his best. Not his best. Everything else, he has someone write it for him, knocked out of the park.
I think the problem with that, and I think the problem with where Brian De Palma fails, and possibly where Wes Craven fails with things like People Under the Stairs, is that when Zack Snyder...
How does he possibly fail? People Under the Stairs.
Shut up. When Zack Snyder wrote Sucker Punch, he wrote Sucker Punch as a director.
Right.
And when you get a really stylized director and they write a film, they're writing. If they write as a director, then they're looking at the film and not the story.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So I
think I've mentioned on the show once before. Just Sucker Punch, real quick before we move on, is that what I would have really liked, what I enjoyed with that film, is anytime they actually weren't in this fantasy world that she concocted,
Oh, yeah.
Anytime they were outside of that, I really enjoyed that. And I think if they had a lot more of that, where even if they showed like that virtual world, that fantasy world, but they did a lot of the side-by-side where they showed, okay, she's in this fantasy world, but here's exactly what's really happening. Like that one scene where she's, doing that burlesque dance in the kitchen, and she comes out of it because water hits the radio, the wire, and it zaps out. So the whole fantasy is just now it's done, and the guy that they're trying to, distract, he's like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? I think if they had a lot more of that, I think that worked really well.
Yeah, but and also, Zack Snyder was really he was making his claim to fame with adaptations and remakes between, Dawn of the Dead, 300,
right.
Then later Watchmen. So you got all this where he's working with source material and then be very Slavic towards the source material that when he finally says, you know what, I'm going to make my own source material. So no, that was a wash. It's just like Stephen King when they were adapting all his books to film, and he finally got pissed off. They're ruining my stuff. I'm gonna write my own screenplay, and he wrote Sleepwalkers.
Oh.
Yeah, and then he has written stuff for the screen since then, but that was like that kind of now you can shut the fuck up and just if you're gonna sell the shit, shut up. It's just
right, exactly. It's like Creepshow worked. But you weren't the only motherfucker involved. So that's why it worked. Creepshow 2, not so much.
And,
Although I
you
still
know,
like Creepshow too.
and I understand like his griping, like when it got to the point with Lawnmower Man, where it had nothing to do with the source material. But all right, let's be fair, Steven, you sold a source material that was a short story about a guy that eats somebody's grass and then slaughters them in their bird bath. There, I don't know how you thought they were going to make a movie out of that, but even if they stayed true to the source material, still going to be a shitty film. So just take the fucking money and shut up. That,
Yeah.
You know.
And we're talking Lawnmower Man, right?
I thought I said that.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. I just wanted to verify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lawnmower
And,
Man. Yeah.
and they turned that into the movie's almost 2.5 hours long. How the fuck did they do that? Seriously.
No.
It's like 2.5 hours. I remember reading the short story and hearing that a film was coming out, and I'm like, all right, it's going to be a short movie. I expect it to be maybe 80 minutes. Like, if they can squeeze 80. 2 hours and like 24 minutes long, this movie. And most of the shit in that movie was all CGI. It was one of like the premiere, like you own this Laserdisc, okay?
Yeah.
You owned this Laserdisc back in the day because the picture was amazing, the CGI was incredible. It was all like insane. There was a set of DVDs that were or Laserdiscs, and then it went on to DVD called Beyond the Mind's Eye, or it was Mind's Eye and Beyond the Mind's Eye. Do you remember those?
Yes. Yes.
And a lot of the stuff from Lawnmower Man, or some of the scenes from Lawnmower Man, were in that set. So it was almost like they did it for the Beyond the Mind's Eye and Mind's Eye, and then they put it in the movie, or maybe it was the other way around. But I get the feeling that they've revolved the movie around shit from Beyond the Mind's Eye. But 2.5 hour fucking movie. It's like, how do you do that? How do you do that?
You don't.
Because
successfully, you don't. That's the point.
Yeah. I think it was. I want to say the movie cost like only $50 million, or it made 50. I'm vague. I kind of blocked it out.
I remember.
I'm usually good with numbers.
Pierce Brosnan was in it, and it had something to do with virtual reality. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Then his wife dies.
Right, and it was back in the day when they're still trying to get virtual reality off the ground.
We can't even get into that discussion. That's like a half hour right there.
Yes, it is. But and Sony, they bought like this thing called Oculus Rift, which is supposed to be the next big thing for virtual reality. And you know what I think?
I think you're still talking about it when we.
I'm trying to fill up some time here because I kind of think we're done with the movie.
Let's fill up time by backtracking to the movie and just summing up and saying it's a decent film.
Yes.
If you like 80s horror films, it's definitely better than Friday the 13th Part 5 or 4 or Nightmare on Elm Street, anything beyond 3. It's definitely better than that stuff. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was A New Beginning, right? That's the worst one.
Yes, that was the one
It's
with
the worst
Corey
early
Feldman.
one. Yeah, that's the worst early one. What?
That was with Corey Feldman, Part 4.
5's A New Beginning. Then 5's the bad one. Okay, I'm thinking of 5. That's where Jason's not even in it.
Which one is 4?
4's the one where Corey Feldman kills him. You're correct.
Yeah, but what was the name of that? It was Friday the 13th Part 4. Shit.
Oh, I
New Chapter.
At World's End? No, New Chapter's 5. That's the one where it's not Jason.
So then A New Beginning is 4 then?
No, the final chapter is 4. A New Beginning is 5.
Fine.
Anyway.
Didn't I say final chapter? Or new? I said A New Chapter.
Yeah,
whatever. Whatever. It's fucking
flipped it.
Shitty 80s movies. So we should rate this movie then.
That's what I was about to say. So, I mean...
now, it's currently 5.3 on IMDb. I don't think they know what they're talking about. I don't think this is a 7, but I definitely think it's a solid 6.
I would agree.
I
would agree. It's not like the acting's great, but it's definitely I think this film withstands the test of time. Now, I say that knowing that it deals primarily with a growing dead technology, an increasingly dead technology
yes.
of broadcast television. But how it's handled and the concepts and just the presentation of it, I think still holds up to this day. It doesn't feel like when you're watching a 70s slasher film, they're like, oh, gee, people acted like this. I mean, if they remade it, they could never. I don't think they could remake this because all they could do is change it from jumping through broadcast television to jumping through the internet, and there wouldn't be enough new stuff there to warrant it.
I think the only way this film gets done again is if Mitch Pileggi reprises his role. I would see that in a heartbeat. I really would. Bring him back as Horace Pinker. All new script, same fucking attitude. Come on, do it. That's the only way they do it. That's the only way. You get Mitch Pileggi again. Fuck no.
Dude, he's like almost 70.
Okay. And Pee Wee Herman is doing another one, another
60,
film,
60,
and he's like
60
something.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Pee Wee Herman's like 62, and he's going to be Pee Wee Herman next year.
Pee Wee Herman's not killing hundreds of people.
Yeah, and you know what? Mitch Pileggi, he was already prematurely bald in this film. How much different do you think it's going to be?
He's always been bald.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever.
I bet he doesn't look much different than he does from this film. He could do Horace Pinker again. I guarantee it.
I guarantee he's bald in Death Wish 4 back in 1987.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He went
I
bald
like
at an
4.
alarming rate.
No, wait. Am I thinking of 4? No, I don't like 4. I'm thinking of 3. 3's the
3?
one with the
It's the gangs.
Yeah,
with the teeth.
that's the one I'm thinking of.
What are those?
Yeah.
Teeth.
I'm not going to start on a Death Wish rant. So, yeah, we'll rate. I agree with you. Shockers, I don't think it's good enough to be a 7. A solid 6 it is.
Yep.
Only 9,500 votes, which is about how many people voted this election. So that's not surprising.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
The highest number of votes is 5-star with 20.9%. Highest demographic, males under 18 at 7.5. Go figure.
Yeah, but 6s are a close second.
Yeah.
20.7%.
Yeah. And then lowest demographic is females under 18, of whom only 1 bothered to even rate the film. Everybody else is around 5. So.
Yes. No. So
apparently your 18 and under crowd vastly divided on the quality of this film. Everybody else is
What do they know?
I don't know. I would go down. Yeah, solid 6, definitely.
Should we talk a couple of minutes about how we might be getting sued soon?
We're not getting sued. I don't know why you say it that way. It's not.
That's what the letter to us said. It said the only way our video can get put back on YouTube is if Universal does not pursue legal action. If Universal does not contact YouTube in 8 to 10 business days, the video goes back up.
But what they're saying is when they say they don't pursue legal action, they don't mean sue us. What they mean is just give us a formal legal document of cease and desist saying stop trying. They're not going to. Have you seen in the news all of the YouTube people posting on YouTube being taken to court? No, that's not what's going to happen.
Of course not.
When they say legal action, they mean actually do something. Because right now they're not doing anything. This is all automated. This is all one person pushing a button or nobody pushing buttons. What they're saying is at this point, if Universal really feels strongly about stopping this, they'll just give us a formal cease and desist saying, yeah, you can't post it and then our only option to try to get past that would be to challenge it legally, which we wouldn't do because that's why they do it.
Time, yes.
Or money. I think money's the thing. I'll make the time.
We would just defend ourselves.
That still costs money.
Not in small claims, or actually, they probably wouldn't take us to small claims.
Yeah, we're not taking.
They would take us to
one of the small claims. Yeah.
Fuck us in the ass court. That's where they would take us.
Yeah. So no, we're not going to be sued for trying to post a review of.
You never
movies.
know. The way the email was worded sounded like we're going to sue you.
Because what they're trying to do is intimidate you into not pursuing your legal rights.
Well, I did it anyway.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
because we don't take shit from no machines.
That's right. As a matter of fact, the letter, or I did the counter on October 15th. 8 to 10 business days would be Monday or Tuesday of next week.
So we'll know soon.
That would be 8 to 10 business days, Monday or Tuesday of next week. So hopefully we don't hear anything from anybody and the video just gets put back up, because what happens is we officially, because we took it this far, or I should say Universal took it this far, we have a strike against us. You get 3 of those and our account gets taken down. But if the strike stays, we can't post anything longer than 15 minutes until April of 2015. They will have banned us for longer videos for 6 straight months.
Right.
That's what kills me the most, is the fact that they feel the need to ban us for that long.
Well, again, it's more intimidation. Yeah.
Well, that is also true. All right, so can I guess the challenge? You got any hints for me? Do you want to change your mind?
Well, here's the deal. I wanted to follow. We went from death penalty to death penalty, and so I was thinking of going death penalty again.
We were on this kick.
Yeah, but now during the 80s, during like the late 80s, there was a rash of horror films involving prisoners.
Okay.
Now, one of the films was that I'm thinking of from '87 is called Prison, and it's about an executed prisoner who haunts a prison.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Now,
I don't think I
haven't. I haven't either, but I remember it because I used to read Fangoria and they're on that time frame, and I do remember some of the pictures. This was around the same time as Horror Show came out and Shocker. Yeah, again, there was a rash of prison-related films, but and it is a bad film. But my concern is that it might be hard to find. But so I'm going to kind of put that on the back burner, and I wanted to suggest another film that is a little loosely linked to Shocker, except instead of a death row inmate, it's going to be a prisoner who is assumed dead and wreaks vengeance.
Ooh.
And this one came out in 1988, so it's between Prison and Shocker. Again, that whole little period of let's make films about people from prison. The twist being that the person from prison was not originally a criminal, and it was actually framed for what they went to prison for.
Oh.
And before they went to prison, they were a cop. And then after they went to prison, they became a maniac cop. And so I'm challenging you to the 1988 film Maniac Cop, starring the guy with the jaw
and Bruce
Campbell. Yes.
Yeah. God, I haven't seen Maniac Cop in forever.
Me neither.
I haven't seen it in forever.
I almost jumped the gun. And just challenged you to Maniac Cop 3.
Oh. Oh.
but I figured...
What year did Prison come out? 88, you said?
88, yes. No, 87. Prison's 87. Maniac
87.
Cop is 88.
I'm curious if it is available. I don't think it is. I think that's going to be a hard one. Yeah. Doesn't seem
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not an easy one to get.
Even though Viggo Mortensen's in it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, like a young Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo!
Viggo!
Viggo! Command me, Lord! I don't think I've never seen Prison. At least I don't think I have.
I know I haven't. I just remember seeing. You know what? I might have, but I definitely don't remember it. All I remember is seeing. I know there's like a special effect where the executed prisoner in the electric chair keeps appearing as the prisoner in the electric chair, and I think he has barbed wire around him. It's wacky.
Now there's something from 1987 called Prison on Fire, but I don't.
No.
No. Okay.
That's
So, yeah.
that's Cheyenne Fat, Prison on Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's just a straight prison drama.
I say yeah like I knew that. No, I didn't know that.
I knew that.
I know it now because yes, it says Prison on Fire, 1997, Hong Kong. Okay. So yeah, no, that's a hard one. So good choice with Maniac Cop.
I know.
Oh well. All right. Should we go ahead and end this?
Let's execute it.
Wow. All right. This is episode 153 of Moviesucktastic.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Let's get on with the killing. You can go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com, download all of our shows there, listen to the shows there, or you can watch the live stream when it doesn't crash my computer into flames. You can go to iTunes and you can download our shows there as well. When you stop by, make sure you leave a review. You can leave us email. The address is themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. You can also leave us voicemail, and that's 908-514-4470. You can also go to our Tumblr page at Moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. You can go to our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, or you can go and do a search for us in your favorite search engine. Scott likes Google, and we'll show
Google
up there
it
as well. And finally, make sure you download the app for your Android device. It is completely free. Go into the Play Store, do a search for Moviesucktastic, download that shit. You can listen to the show right from there. You can stream it. You can also do, you can go to our merch page. You can go to our Facebook page. Everything on the app is everything that we just talked about is in the app at your fingertips. Definitely something you want to get. And it's totally free, which is also very, very cool. And that about does it. You got any words of wisdom?
No more, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
My favorite song. What?
No, I was going to say we'll leave it at that, but go ahead.
No, and that whole rock ballad thing that we didn't talk about. And my favorite one is "You are the sword, I am the stone." No, I am the sword. I am the sword. You are the stone. We're in a world where just the strong survive.
What I will say this: when we challenged it to you, we probably did 10 or 15 minutes on just hair metal because we talked about this movie.
And we had to stop it short.
Yeah, we had to stop it short because we were basically doing a review at the end of that episode, which I believe was 152, which was Guilty as Charged, and that's when I challenged it to you.
Because anyway. I am the sword, you are the stone.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
You got it.
You got it, baby.